This video is brought to you by Fantasy Island. Own it on digital now, on Blu-ray and DVD, May 12th. What a twist! And we say that unironically. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 modern horror movie twists. For this list, we're looking at moments and plot turns in horror movies released from 2000 onward that totally caught us off guard. If you haven't seen any of these films, we have something really scary in store for you. Spoilers! Number 10. Oh my god, The Cabin in the Woods. This horror comedy tells us a lot up front, while also telling us nothing. While it's evident that a secret organization is manipulating a group of students, it's unclear why exactly they're trying to recreate a classic zombie flick.
It's our task to placate the Ancient Ones.
Things start falling into place once our heroes reach the underground facility, which doesn't just host zombies, but every horror antagonist you can possibly think of. What trumps werewolves, mummies, and mermen, though? Literal gods. Putting a clever spin on slasher tropes, it's revealed that the characters are part of an annual ritual that requires 5 horror archetypes to be sacrificed, save maybe the Virgin.
Leaving the last, to live or die, as fate decides. The Virgin.
Adding to the surprise, the director is played by Sigourney Weaver, and the final two ultimately figure, meh, humanity's had a good run.
It's time to give someone else a chance.
Number 9. You escaped! Not The Descent. After going to hell and back, protagonist Sarah finds the light at the end of the tunnel. Making it back to her car, Sarah and the audience breathe a sigh of relief as she prepares to drive off, until it's revealed that she was hallucinating. Back in the cave, Sarah's given no choice but to accept her uncertain fate. Now, here's an ending that has us all yelling at the screen. Not because it's bad. On the contrary, the twist is quite effective, pulling the rug out from under us in a way that doesn't come off as forced and fits the film's overall soul-crushing tone. After being given a false sense of security, though, this fake-out hits us like a pile of rocks. Number 8. Out of the Bunker, 10 Cloverfield Lane. This movie was already playing with audience expectations before its release. Most people didn't know that a Cloverfield spiritual successor was in the works, and even after the title dropped, we all wondered how this franchise went from a giant monster movie to a small-scale psychological thriller.
What are you gonna do to me?
I'm going to keep you alive.
Our questions only piled up while watching the film. Is Howard a lunatic keeping Michelle prisoner, or a good-intentioned survivalist protecting her from whatever's outside? Turns out, it's a bit of both. Howard is off his rocker, and the bunker isn't safe as long as he's around. He wasn't wrong about the outside being unsafe, however, as aliens have arrived.
Come on.
As Michelle drives to Houston, we're left to wonder what we would have done in her shoes. Number 7. What's in the Basement? Don't Breathe. For much of Don't Breathe, we're not sure who to root for. Although Rocky is given understandable motivations, she's still stealing from a visually impaired guy.
Okay.
Yes.
Granted, a guy who could give Daredevil a run for his money, but still. We officially side with Team Rocky upon learning that Norman has been keeping a woman tied up in his basement. The prisoner accidentally ran over and killed Norman's daughter. Norman's not satisfied with the $300,000 settlement and expects the woman responsible for his daughter's death to bear him a new child. As blindsided as we are, this twist is smartly built up, and matters only grow more shocking once the prisoner bites the bullet, requiring Rocky to fill in.
None of this is gonna bring your daughter back.
Number 6. Dastardly Duo, The Invisible Man. It's only fitting that we didn't see this twist coming. Everything seems to be wrapped up when Cecilia shoots down her invisible stalker, saving James and Sydney. As Cecilia takes off the mask, however, she's surprised to find Adrian's brother Tom rather than her sadistic ex. Cue our collective gasp as Cecilia looks over Tom's lifeless body, piecing together that there's more than one invisible man. Although he was still clearly involved, Adrian has taken measures to paint Tom as the criminal mastermind, and himself as a victim.
Police! Show me your hands!
With the law believing Adrian's claims, how can Cecilia possibly put a stop to this madness? Well, the film has a few more surprises up its sleeve.
Surprise.
Number 5. Samara Strikes Back, The Ring. With a tragic backstory, Samara seemingly emerges as a sympathetic character, and after Rachel recovers her body, all appears to be forgiven.
It's okay.
This couldn't be further from the truth, though, as the vengeful Samara is only getting warmed up. On his 7th day, Noah finds Samara on his television, and there's no changing this channel. It dawns on Rachel that she was only spared because she made a copy of her cursed videotape, allowing Samara to reach a wider audience.
I made a copy.
This means that Rachel's son must also make a copy, saving their lives while dooming whoever watches the tape next. In retrospect, there were obvious signs that Samara was an all-around bad seed, but we still never anticipated the full extent of her evil.
What about the person we show it to? What happens to them?
Number 4. What year is it? The Village. As Ivy climbs over a wall, it becomes clear what the village elders have been hiding. It's revealed that the film isn't set in the 19th century, but the modern present. Unfortunately, Ivy remains literally blind to the truth.
Is someone hurt?
Please, sir, we must make haste.
When The Village first came out, audiences generally found the twist ending absurd, deeming it one of M. Night Shyamalan's weaker efforts. Looking back years later, however, various critics have defended the big reveal.
You have kindness in your voice. I did not expect that.
Vox's Emily Todd Vanderwerf wrote an especially interesting retrospective review about how the twist reflects the 2003 Iraq War and, quote, the blind spots of nostalgia. However you interpret it, many would agree that this was the last movie with a trademark Shyamalan twist. Until The Visit, that is.
Those aren't your grandparents.
Number 3. The old switcheroo. Us. People are rarely what they seem in Jordan Peele's movies. Although we could tell early on that something is off about Rose's family in Get Out, we were not prepared for the reveal that Grandma Marianne's brain was in Georgina's body. You ruined my house! Peele's sophomore film has an even bigger twist in store for us, as Adelaide shows her true colors. Or perhaps we should say that Red shows her true colors. Circling back to the opening scene, we learn that Red switched places with Adelaide at the Funhouse years ago. The woman we've been fearing this entire time stole the life of her tethered doppelganger. It's a twist that motivates us to rewatch the film, suddenly seeing the characters in a whole new light. Number 2. No one can make us leave this house. The Others. Upon release, The Others was hailed by many as the next Sixth Sense. Alejandro Amenabar's film puts a fresh spin on seeing dead people, however. Throughout the movie, we're led to believe that Grace and her children are being haunted. As it turns out, the so-called spirits are actually a living family that has moved into the mansion. The true ghosts are Grace and her children.
We're not dead! We're not dead! We're not dead!
Following her husband's demise in World War II, the grieving Grace smothered her children and took her own life.
We know the woman went mad, smothered her 2 children, and then shot herself.
It's a tragic revelation that sees good Mother Grace transform into her own worst nightmare. To this date, we're not sure whether to read Grace's final words as hopeful or depressing. Either way, this ending will never leave us.
No one can make us leave this house.
Is there anything better than a twist in a horror movie? I love it, honestly. Gotta keep you on your toes. I actually rewatched one of our honorable mentions again recently, and I really enjoyed it, although I do feel it's underrated. So, let's take a look at those honorable mentions, and then we'll name our top modern horror movie twist.
Why are you telling me this? Because you, Edward, are one of his personalities.
She only looks like a child. According to our records, Lena Klammer was born in 1976. She's 33 years old.
What's all that about?
I have no idea.
We needed someone with no motive to see what had happened here. Someone other than Z, obviously.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Puzzle piece in plain sight. Saw. Before the franchise became over-reliant on gore, the first Saw hooked us with a terrifying premise, sharp execution, and a killer payoff.
If I don't get help, I'm going to bleed to death.
Just Just when it looks like everything has fallen into place, Adam stumbles upon a missing puzzle piece in the center of the room. Zep was just a pawn in the Jigsaw Killer's scheme, and the true puppet master has been lying on the floor. While many have pointed out the ending's plot holes, nothing can take away from the shock and dread we feel when John Kramer lifts himself off the floor. It's a twist nobody sees coming, even with all the clues we need sitting right in front of us the whole time. Realistic or not, it's pretty ingenious.
Game over!
This video is brought to you by Fantasy Island. Own it on digital now, on Blu-ray and DVD, May 12th.